Hello and welcome to our webinar, 25 plus usability hacks to transform site search experience on your Magento store. Hi, my name is Monal Patel from Unboxed, and this is the latest in our ongoing Unboxed webinar series where we talk about very specific topics that help online retailers solve challenges and identify opportunities to grow their business. Our webinar series comes with different topics with different focus, and today we come to you with a focus specifically on Magento. For those folks who are new to our webinar series, let me give you a quick overview about Unbox. Unbox is a Bay Area company. We have been in business for more than over 4.5 years. We have about 1,200 customers globally, 300 plus customers right here in the US, and we have created unique differentiators to grow so quickly in this space. Some of the differentiators are we have solved some of the site search problems that were not solved before using technology. We create custom solutions for all our retailers, whether you're an enterprise class customer or you're a small specialty site. We have tremendous ability to scale up and scale out depending on what retailers' needs might be from an infrastructure standpoint. And we have continuous improvement and monitoring system that monitors your site search for you and continuously looks at to improve it. My name is again Monal Patel, and I'm the Senior Vice President and Chief Business Officer for Unbox, and I'll be conducting the webinar for you guys today. Okay. Here's some of the customers that we work with today from a global enterprise scale. We work with Target.com, Newegg.com, Bell's out of Florida. And from brands perspective, we work, pure online brands perspective, we work with Deborah Lippman, Backparts, Shindigs, Pure Vita Sylvain. And from a platform perspective, we work with a lot of different platforms. And if you have a custom platform, we work on custom platforms also. Okay, here's a quick agenda for today. We'll make a case for site search, just as a brief overview on why site search is important. Then we'll walk you through all the different elements for an important site search experience and how Magento actually fares to provide a good site search experience. Next is all the limitations and challenges that Magento has. How does Unbox overcome, and working with Unbox can help you identify new opportunities for growth. We'll finish it with some key takeaways and a question and answer session. Okay. So let's start with making a case for site search. Why do customers search? To understand this, let's break them down into two segments. One is type 1 called the primary. These types of customers know exactly what they want and they go straight for search. They like the speed, they like the convenience, and so search is their preferred way to discover products. Type 2 is an alternative group who first goes and uses navigation. And when that fails, they use search as the last resort. Both these customers expect search to produce relevant results. However, in our experience, what we've found is that type 1 or the primary customers are more forgiving and will make 3 to 5 attempts before giving up. Type 2, which is the alternative group of customers, is less forgiving to inaccurate search results because this will be a second failure after navigation also failed at finding the right set of products. So 43% of your visitors who land on a website go immediately to the search function. These are your primary customers. And another more important stat to know is that 3 times is what customers who use search are more likely to buy compared to the ones that don't search. So if you look at your conversion rate for your overall site, and let's say 3%, your site search customers should be converting at least at 9%. Okay. The opposite is also important to know. The industry standard states that 80% of the visitors abandon a site after they have a poor search experience, which could mean a bad design, bad relevancy, not enough options to actually use the search experience. So what makes a great site search experience? We believe that there are 2 essential building blocks for a great site search experience: relevancy and design. There are a lot of different ways customers would search for different sets of products and different categories on your site. And relevancy alone cannot solve all the problems. You have to design your site search experience in such a way that it compensates for the different types of queries that the customers might have. And you want to make the site search human ready. What it means is you want to make sure that all the elements of a human search are reflected in your site search experience. Spelling mistakes, navigation, where do their eyes go? How do they buy products? What's the most important things to show? All of those elements have to be carefully thought through to give your customers a human ready site search. Okay. So improving search relevance contains three specific elements: intelligent technology, effective merchandising, and a feedback loop of in-depth analytics and insights. So let's look at today how Magento's default site search system works. So when you talk about site search, the first interaction a customer has on site search is with autocomplete, or you might call it a type ahead or auto suggest or a search pop-up. The idea here is when in Magento, when you enable autocomplete, default Magento enable autocomplete, and you search for different queries, Magento will do a dump of all the keywords it can find through a keyword pattern matching. As you can see here in the example, dresses, dress with sleeves, dress gradation, dresses with bow, all different types of dresses will come up. You can also see at the bottom here it says dressed. And that's a big limitation for Magento because this does not help and guide a customer to a specific set of products that you're looking for. Because to them, dress with sleeve and dresses with sleeves is exactly the same thing. Next is the relevancy. So you talk about type ahead, you somehow get the search query in, and you start looking at the relevancy of results. So here, we want to demonstrate what the relevancy for the same type of queries that you might have as a category, the relevancy does not work on Magento. So here's a category page called men's jeans, and you can see jeans. When for the same site, you search for jeans for men, you would see all different sorts of products. Or you search for men's jeans, which was the category, you only end up seeing 4 products and 2 of them are not jeans. So this is what Magento's by default site search problem is. Now Magento gives you some ability to improve relevance, but it is actually making it even worse. Just by making more fields searchable does not necessarily mean that the search results will improve. And that's all Magento can do for you. It allows you to say, narrow the results down as to where you look for queries or expand it in case customers are using lots of different kinds of words. And those words are spread across different fields in your catalog. Next is the search is not context aware. So here we're looking for a queen size bed, or I was looking for a queen bed. It needs to know the difference. And you can see here the first 2 products it's showing is pillows because it has the word queen in it. So it's not understanding that we are looking for a bed, not necessarily pillows. Poor error tolerance. If a customer makes a lot of mistakes, and today's day and age, customers make a lot of spelling mistakes, especially on mobile, where if you make any spelling mistake, Magento has no ability to autocorrect it. And not only autocorrect it, but then also provide the relevant search results after autocorrecting it. And that's a big limitation for Magento. Next is differences in how Magento understands the keywords. So here is a classic example from a furniture store. You're looking for sofa, and you can see on the left-hand side 2 examples, sofa bed and sofa beds. To human English natural language, bed and beds is exactly the same thing, but you can see how it will show 2 different sets of results depending on whether you use the word bed or beds. Another example is upper or lower cases. You can see here sofa sleeper or sofa sleepers, upper or lower case, actually has 2 different sets of results as well. Another limitation on Magento is the ability to do multi-select filters. You cannot do multi-select filters, which become very important because here in this example, let's say I wanted to look at all the products that were between $0 and $200. I have to first look at 0 to 100 and then 100 to 200. Which makes it for a very difficult search experience. Next is poor merchandising controls. So by default, the Magento store does not allow for a good merchandising process. What it does is, let's say for a simple case of sorting, you can only limit it to say how you sort your products. Next is creating a landing page. If you wanted to create a custom landing page, either you are running a marketing promotion or a merchandising promotion, and you wanted to create a landing page, it requires 4 pages to be filled out before you can create a landing page. And all of this has to be done manually for every single landing page you create. And so you can have general information, you have display settings, you have custom design, you have category products, a lot of paperwork to fill out to be precise, just to get a landing page. And if your merchants and marketers have to do this day in and day out, you can only imagine how cumbersome this must be and time consuming. Loss of time, productivity, loss of revenue. Next is in-depth insights. Very important to understand any kind of merchandising rule changes that you're making. Are they working? Are they producing results? What are the customers specifically doing when they're searching? Are they finding good results? If they are finding good results, are they evaluating products? Are they using filters? Any of those statistics are not available by default using the in-depth insights. Okay. Um, so reporting on Magento, if you were to look, the Magento dashboard shows only a few key metrics. Here you can see performance of last 5 orders, search terms, and top 5 search terms. Then another report, Magento offers very elementary site search reports. They show search queries and how many times they've been searched, but nothing beyond that. And there is so much statistics that is important to make good merchandising and marketing decisions from a retailer's perspective. All right. So the next question is, there's all these limitations on site search in default Magento. What can we do and how can we design a great site search experience? Before we get into that, let's do a quick poll to understand what our audience is doing currently from a specific perspective in terms of what the different elements from site search are. Okay, all right. So the question is, how do you ensure relevant site search experience? And you can select one of the following options. You make all product attributes searchable. You use rules to optimize search queries, or you have an intelligent site search engine beyond the Magento intelligence. Right, we'll give you guys 20 to 30 seconds to answer these questions. Okay, moving on to the next bit. Okay, so let's talk about usability hacks for designing a good site search experience. So for today's webinar and to respect the time that we have divided the usability hacks into 4 segments: predictive search, results layout, search refinement, and search on mobile. Okay, so let's start with the predictive search. So predictive search means starting with the autocomplete, or type ahead or auto suggest. In this example, we are showing Deborah Lipman, who sells nail color and lip color. What is important to note here is that Deborah Lipman sells products that hundreds of other sites sell. What is different about Deborah Lipman is the color and the finish. So as soon as the customer is starting to search for a particular query, you can see that we start showing the color and the finish that that color is available in, hence guiding the customer specifically to what you have in your catalog in a very unified, differentiated way. The second element we also take care of, because Deborah Lipman is a fashion site and it's always trends and changes constantly, we want to make sure that whatever is trending and has the highest probability of conversion shows up in the product suggestions. So we make sure that relevant products show up and they're ordered in a high probability of conversion. Here's another customer using Magento. called plasticplace.com. For them, a lot of customers come back and order the same exact product that they've always have. So for them, it was very important to make sure that as soon as they type in the query that they're looking to buy, either the query or the product ID or the item ID, as soon as they see the product that they are looking to buy, they can right from the autocomplete finish their purchase experience. They do not have to go to the product detail page. They can just change the quantity and add to cart from right there. A third example, a different vertical, Vac Parts Warehouse sells vacuum parts, and they have two types of users. One who knows what parts to buy, exact parts to buy, another type of users who has no idea what parts to buy, but they know exactly the model of vacuum cleaner that they have. So what we have done here is the autocomplete is predictive in nature, but predicts for both groups of customers. On the left-hand side, we show parts with part numbers for customers who know exactly what parts to buy. For customers who have no idea what parts to buy, on the right-hand side, we show models. And we also show some top suggestions and some part suggestions as well. Okay. Next is results layout. In the results layout, you want to make sure that the design determines how easy or difficult it is to consume the results. A good results layout addresses three key questions. Did the site return a good result? Or a new search is needed? Which of the results are relevant to the user? And which results or products to explore or buy? Okay. So you want to make sure that the customers have a seamless product discovery. You can either do a list view to provide a lot more details of information, which are very important for a particular category type of products, versus when it's visual, you want to create a grid view. For visual verticals where images are more important because it's a visually biased purchasing behavior, you might want to show a grid view. Dynamic color search. If a customer is searching for a red dress, and if you have the red image of that dress, make sure that you show the red image of that dress and not the other image that's the primary image. Make sure that the search results themselves reflect what query the customer is searching for. Another ability is to give customers a quick way to see alternatives. Say when we search for these particular set of products, if I wanted to evaluate similar other products, how quickly can I do that without going into the results page? All right. Displaying zero results. There will be instances where customers may not be able to see any results because they're searching for a brand that you don't carry or a product that you don't carry. In that case, you want to give the customers the ability to go back or to go forward. And that's what Unbox allows you to do. It shows the customer recently viewed products, which gives them the ability to go back, or recommended products, which gives them the ability to go forward. And in today's modern day and age, you want to give the customer a very personalized, guided next step. Okay. Next is result refinements. So here, not only do we want to make sure that the faceted search is an integral part of the search experience, but it is important to have relevant filters, not just a order of filters that is static for all different categories of products. Also, you want to make sure you overcome Magento's limitation of it being a single select filter. You want to make sure it's multi-select. Okay. So Unbox has come up with a solution that not only allows dynamic filters, but also adaptive in nature. And what we mean by that is, on the left you can see for a category called shirts, if you determine that these are the filters in this order of importance are necessary for a better search experience. So no matter how a customer searches for shirts, men's shirts, casual shirts, men's casual shirts, these filters will automatically kick in. On the right hand side, a very different set of filters for the category shoes. No matter how a customer searches for shoes, those set of filters and that order of importance will automatically kick in. Showing the number of results for each attribute becomes very, very powerful to help the customer guide so that they know when they select a particular filter how much the results will be narrowed down to. Same thing with dynamic ordering. We talked about that, ordering the facets based on the usage patterns. Next is mobile search. Searching on mobile is very, very important. And we're pretty sure that every single day your mobile traffic is growing more than it was yesterday. And navigation on mobile is extremely cumbersome. Search is the primary way to discover products. And again, here you still find two types of search customers: primary and explorers. Primary customers know exactly what they want, and explorers are basically looking and evaluating products. Maybe they will explore products on mobile and then ultimately finish the transaction on desktop. So you cannot ignore either group. You want to make sure that both groups get good search results. If you do not, you always have a very high risk of abandonment compared to desktop. On desktop, customers may give multiple chances for search to work out, but on mobile, very few chances for search to work out, almost 50% less chances. Okay, so how do we design search on mobile? Starting with the autocomplete, you want to make sure you give scope suggestions and popular queries to the customer. And on the right hand side, you can see recent searches. They are personalized to every single user. Because mobile experiences get interrupted a lot, you want to make sure that the customer can get back to where their experience they left off very quickly. Mobile refinement. You want to make sure that these refinements are placed in close proximity to where the customer's experience is. So for example, the department filters or sorting or any other types of filters are all available right there. Do not hide the filters amongst each other. For example, in this example, you can see on the left-hand side, there's a sort option or a filter option, and sort is not visible. But the only way the customer can sort is by going into the filter, and then you can see here, sort is available as an option within the filters. You cannot hide that because the customer intuitively will not know that the sort option is available within the filter option. The next is category refinement. If a customer does a very high level query, say for example shoes in this case, how do we guide the customer to the next level and clarify the intent? So searching for shoes should show you all the subcategories called men, women, boys, girls, etc. Also give you the ability to filter the results or sort the results, but also always show results. Always show results just in case the customer has no intent to buy, then they can always look at results and start browsing for products. If the customer selects a subcategory and there are subcategories available, make sure that you continue to guide the customer because they are giving you an intent. You want to continue to ask for intent unless and until you have a very clear intent. And then also keep showing filters and sorting options and also keep showing relevant results. And ultimately, when they've selected enough intent, you start showing them more results. Here's what the multi-select filters for mobile should look like out of the box. Multi-select with lots of different options on the left. Again, maintaining the integrity of order of filters for different categories of products. And then add an apply button to make it easy for the customers to multi-select and then narrow the results down. From a product discovery perspective, how can we make it easy on mobile for customers to evaluate alternatives? Similar to how we did it on desktop, you want to give them the ability to click on a button that says more like this. Doesn't have to be a button, but from a design perspective, give them an ability to see alternatives. Click on a button, opens up in a modal window. You can look at the alternatives. If they like that, they'll click on the products. If they don't, they'll go back to the original results by hitting close. The last bit beyond search is merchandising, which is a big element and a limitation in Magento. So quickly walking you through all the different elements of how merchandising can be done and you can overcome those limitations of Magento. Okay. So here's what an unboxed dashboard looks like very quickly. You can create synonyms. You do not have to create synonyms for spell check errors. You do not have to create synonyms for plural, uppercase, lowercase, none of that stuff. All of those things are automated through Unbox system. However, if you do have industry-specific jargons, like in the weightlifting world, shoes are called lifters, and the there's no way for any system to automate that. You have the ability to add synonyms. You can easily merchandise your search queries. You can merge, for example, here you can see dress, shoes, and bags being merchandised. Once you open up the merchandising window, you have the ability to filter the results. You have the ability to promote, drag and drop pinning tools, visual merchandising, and you can also sort based on different attributes of your catalog. You can also boost based on different attributes of your catalog. And all of these rules, you can combine multiple rules, create and rules, or rules, etc. You can very quickly create a landing page. Type in the query, click on convert to landing page, and the entire catalog is available for you to curate your landing page. You do not have to go through 4 pages of forms to fill out to create a landing page. Next is the analytics. You also get a lot of analytics that are specifically showing you the conversion from site search. What queries, how many hits, product views, click-throughs, add to carts, and orders, specifically down to an order. You can also see your top queries available. You can also see top products being added to cart. You can also look at zero results queries. If there are queries that are producing zero results, you can very quickly create custom landing pages or solve it by creating synonyms. So the key takeaways from today's webinar is search relevance and usability forms the backbone of an engaging and highly converting site search experience. Search relevancy includes intelligent technology, merchandising, and in-depth insights. And now we're specifically talking about Magento. The default Magento has a great number of limitations, which also creates a lot of opportunities for retailers to improve time the merchant spend, time the marketer spend, creating, curating, and maintaining the website for a lot of different facets. Essential cornerstones for search usability is predictive search, search refinement, and results layout. And on top of that, you have desktop practices that should not be translated to mobile. You want to think of mobile differently and make sure that mobile experiences are curated for mobile. And on top of that, you also have the merchandising ability to make sure that your marketing, your merchandising team is not wasting a lot of time just filling out forms, rather actually looking at good analytics, good data to make more intelligent decisions. All right, let's go through some of the questions. Let's see how many questions do we have. Okay, we have about 3 questions. Okay. How does your extension handle spelling error and typos? Okay, so that's a great question. So the Magento extension we've built to solve the site search problem has a built-in spelling error and typo algorithm. So you do not have to manually solve spelling errors and typos. We have a natural language processor that automatically autocorrects spelling mistakes. So it's an automated system. All right. Question 2 is, how many results should I show in autocomplete? Is there any industry best practice on the number of results to be shown? So the industry best practice is established based on the vertical. So, and how big your catalog is. If you have a very large catalog, you do not want to show products in your autocomplete unless the query is so specific that it warrants showing that. Because with large catalogs, you want your customers to be guided to the category or the subcategory quickly. And if you have a smallish catalog, then it all depends on how many products you have in the catalog and what the queries the customers are searching for. And based on that, Unbox figures out the best number of products and auto adjusts the number of products that we show based on performance. Okay. Third question is, how do you prevent out of stock products from showing in the search results? Okay. So the merchandising dashboard that we showed you, we have an option in there that talks about global rules. So you can create these global rules which will affect all search queries, whether you are merchandise those queries or are just any other query. And in that, you can easily specify that you can filter using a flag in your catalog for products that are out of stock or inactive or any other flag that might be sale. You don't necessarily have to just filter it. You also have the option to bury them. So if you don't want out of stock products to show up top, you can always bury them as well. Okay, those were the 3 questions. All right. If you would like to get your site graded based on our understanding and expertise on how search should be designed and where the opportunities might lie, please go to unbox.com/grader and sign up with your site. We really encourage you to do that. There's no cost to doing this. And once you do that, we will give you the ability to see all the different elements that we talked about today, where there might be problems, where the opportunities may lie, and how Unbox can help if you choose to use Unbox for your solution. Um, Also, you can try directly by using our extension. You can go to unbox.com/Magento site search, which will take you to your Magento Connect extension, and you can install it and take it for a ride, then test it. Well, thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you attending this webinar. Please be on the lookout for any future webinars. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to send us an email or call us. Here's my phone number and email address, and we'll be more than happy to talk to you and walk you through all the different opportunities. Thank you very much and have a great day.